The last time I used this thing, I blew a bounty hunter out of the sky. Nonetheless, Critter and I prefer to avoid a fight if we can and rely on our brains and good looks. Ivo's hippogriff doesn't seem very happy. Perhaps she's missing her rider. Or she's just hungry. Or both. Go over into the garden. There are plants and fruit there if you're hungry. Don't fancy greens, huh? The Elf Burrow is one of the most beautiful spots imaginable. But a golden prison is still a prison. The Elf Burrow is one of the most beautiful spots imaginable, but a golden prison is still a prison. When the Mary belonged to the Red Pirate, he didn't just use her for pleasure trips. They did some work now and again, as this cage proves. Some gnome engineers wanted to fine-tune Mary in appreciation of our victory against Mortroga. But Mary doesn't like gadgets, and I'm happy with her the way she is. The Elf Burrow is one of the most beautiful spots imaginable, but a golden prison is still a prison. As soon as I've picked up Critter, I'm out of here. Perhaps we'll fly to... whatever. We're free. We can fly to wherever we want. Mary was damaged recently, and I want to repair her. When I say recently, I mean about 2 years ago. But in my defense, I had to save the world in the meantime. I'll start the repairs tomorrow. But what can you do if there's a better use for the plank? I've seen alchemic lab benches and building sites with less stuff than this dressing table. People always think that pirates don't care about their appearance. But that's not true. We're just as sensitive as everyone else when it comes to what we look like. You finally managed to get a good beard going. Then people say you looked better without. Ivo tidied up here when we flew back from the Wildlands. At least that's what she called it. In reality, all she did was bring confusing order to my orderly disorder. Mary and me like a bit of banter. She says I haven't got a clue about flying airships, and that we only stay in the air because she ignores my commands. Ha! Hey, Mary.
Captain Nate?
What's our course, helmsman? Woman? Ship?
We are at anchor in the harbor and don't have a course.
Oh, play along. You know I like all that nautical stuff.
Course set 245 degrees north-south, Captain.
Very good. Keep course.
Yes, sir, Captain.
All right. Let me know if there's a problem.
And then?
The Red Pirate kept asking me again and again about his costumes when I was drinking with him. I didn't have the heart to tell him we used some of them as oil rags. A sailor's uniform with a hat and a duck beak made of card. Nope, they're not going to help me in the current situation. Provisions are low. If we sail around much longer, we'll have to get supplies from somewhere, or Critter will have to eat less. Tinned peaches. Oh, empty. The Mary consumes huge amounts of coal, for the oven, but primarily for the steam engine. The Miners Guild promised to give me free coal for the Mary for the rest of my life at the end of the war. When I reminded them, a rather grim-faced dwarf said that the whole thing was meant to be symbolic. Many promises were made in the rush of victory and later not kept. Critter, what have you done now?
Evil.
Ivo's mother? Oh. Come on, let's get you out of there first. All right. Darn elven magic. Yes, I'll get help. Wait here. I'll have to be careful. If the Queen catches me, there'll be no leniency.
I couldn't allow him to propose to you. What sort of life would you have? You'd have lost him so soon, maybe just 50 years after marrying him. Or were you planning to go into the world with him and get old just like him? That would be terrible, and I told him as much. If one truly loves someone, then it's sometimes better to let them go. You know that I can be very convincing. The human spirit is weak. And perhaps there was a tiny bit of magic involved too. If only I'd known that it was already too late.
That darn witch! It all sounded so right. I was already across the sea when it became clear to me that I might have made the biggest mistake of my life. No wonder Ivo hates me. Her mother must never have told her what happened, or she blamed me for everything. During my time here, I sat in this library many times enjoying a good book. Not. Critter claims he doesn't know Ollie, but the family resemblance can't be denied. According to Ivo, these are swords belonging to some of those who have tried to conquer the woodland realm. Nowadays, everyone knows it's better not to pick a fight with elves. The king and queen keep gifts given to them by delegations from far-off lands in this room. Some of them are rather bizarre. The top hat might have been a present from a kobold delegation, although it's a bit too big for that. The top hat might have been a present from a kobold delegation, Although, it's a bit too big for that. That's strange. When I was here last, that tree looked a lot happier. We waited for ages until Ivo's mother finally left the palace. Then it was pool time. Critter and me cannonballed in from the balcony. Ivo was torn between outrage and laughter. Bob is still sitting where I left him months ago. Of course, he's not really called Bob, but his elven name is too complicated and long to remember. And he likes Bob. Hey, Bob.
Nate, my boy, what are you doing here?
Your wife has hexed Ivo and imprisoned Critter. I'll free both of them and
I would counsel you to patience, my impetuous friend. What has happened?
The Queen found Ivo in the garden. She's pregnant. Did you know that?
I hope that you are speaking of Ivo and not my wife. Of course I knew.
She's put Ivo into a kind of deep sleep.
Theodora knows wise decisions take time. It isn't a simple sleep. It's a kind of time out. For Ivo, time is standing still until her mother brings her back.
And when will that be?
As soon as she knows how she's going to deal with the situation. That could take months, or even years.
Years? She's got no right to do that. We have to bring Ivo back.
Just like the polecat butters the bread of the barn owl.
How can we wake Ivo up?
Without the help of her mother, impossible.
Then we'll have to force her. She can't keep Ivo imprisoned against her will.
You won't have any luck. Fiora will defend her daughter. She thinks she's doing the right thing. But if you can make her see that she was not acting in Ivo's best interests, then I'm sure she would let her go.
I should talk to her?
Oh, you'd be dead before you'd stuttered out your first sentence.
Hey! I eavesdropped on the Queen. She never told Ivo what happened, right?
What happened? You just disappeared one night.
It was all your wife's fault. She hexed me. I was going to propose to Ivo. The Queen intercepted me and whispered something in my ear.
Her words would have just washed over you had they not found something which they were able to catch hold of.
I thought long and hard about whether I should propose to Ivo. I loved her, but I also loved my freedom.
Gods and the wise call that getting cold feet.
So she could manipulate me because of my feet?
She magnified your doubts and let you lose sight of what was really important, your love for Ivo.
But I didn't want her to have to watch me die. And I certainly didn't want her to come with me out into the world and grow old and die herself.
Would it have not been up to my daughter what sacrifices she would be willing to make for you? She is, after all, the more intelligent one.
After I left the Elfborough, my head still told me I'd done the right thing. I wouldn't condemn Ivo to a life with me, and a goodbye would have been too painful for both of us.
But your heart told you that you were a fool.
Later, I thought I'd found a solution. I'd find a way to live forever. Then I could marry Ivo and we'd never be separated.
Your heart was right. You are a fool.
Well, Archmage Alistair's been turned into a frog. By a certain Van Buren, some little brat who's running through Seastone and transforming everything.
A little girl transformed the Archmage?
Yes. No idea how she managed it. Ivo said something about Wilbur's wand. And he's in the Dark Woods looking for a book that explains how it can be destroyed. In the meantime, Ivo wanted to organize a few things needed to bring the Archmage back.
What sort of things?
Some book from Lorem Ipsum.
The Book of the Dead?
Yep, that was the one. Then we need a compass that belongs to the Red Pirate and something called the Spark of Life. That's why she came back here.
I see. It's crucial we turn Alistair back quickly. He might have answers.
Answers? To which questions?
Something is stirring. A great evil. I have felt it for a while now.
The little brat with the wand?
No. Something older, greater, and a great danger for you, for Ivo, for everyone.
That doesn't sound good. But I wouldn't even know where to start. Ivo didn't tell me very much. Or perhaps I didn't listen.
I have the Spark of Life here. I will give it to my daughter as soon as she wakes. I can't help you with the compass, though. But I saw the lost city of Lorem Ipsum with my own eyes, long, long ago.
If I were to look for Lorem Ipsum, where would I find the ruins of the city?
Under the sands of the Umzu Desert.
Oh, really? Could you be a bit more precise? The desert's pretty big.
I can't remember the exact location. I set out from the Bremen oasis, went into the desert, and just followed my nose. After a few days, I saw the golden roofs of the town glinting in the sun as it set behind them.
So Lorem Ipsum is west of Bremen. But how far into the desert? How many days did you walk, and how quickly?
It was 3,500 years ago. What did you do last Thursday?
West of Bremen. That's a start. Your wife trapped Critter in the garden. Some thorny tendrils grew out of the ground, imprisoning him.
Oh, an old trick that all priests have up their sleeve.
So novices couldn't sneak out of rituals early, eh?
But the tendrils are very ticklish, especially under the arms.
They... All right, then. Ivo seems to have coped well with me leaving her. Seems to have been in a rush to find herself an elven prince.
No, she didn't take it well. She was hurt and disappointed. And no, she didn't throw herself around the neck of any elf prince.
I don't even want to know. I'd always loved her, but it seems to have been quite one-sided. Take care, Bob. I'll see what I can do to help Ivo and Alistair, or if I can.
I see a man with a mission of great importance that he would like to complete.
Like? All that work? All that danger? The stress? You've got the same attitudes towards stress as I have.
I can see through you, Nate. You made your decision long ago. You just haven't realized it. To do good. Be part of something bigger. Help others. We all need goals in our lives. And the greater the goal, the greater the reward.
I don't know what you're talking about, old man. When your girlfriend's mother is an elf priestess, and you want to make a good impression, you shouldn't call this a swimming pool in front of her. But I meant it in a good way. I even invited her and Ivo's father to join us. I don't know if I'd have been happy here with Ivo. This place is beautiful, of course, but nothing changes, or only unbelievably slowly. And who would want to live in his parents-in-law's house where time practically stands still? The Queen must have ordered the sentries to let the Mary pass. So long as she doesn't give any orders to the contrary, we should be able to enter and leave the Woodland Realm at any time. Tickle, tickle, tickle. No problem. Now you go and wait on the Mary, okay? People say the water has a healing effect. Perhaps I should take 1 or 2 barrels of it with me and sell it. We waited for ages until Ivo's mother, then it critter. At school, I had a teacher who hit us across the fingers with something like that when we were naughty. I stayed the full 2 weeks nonetheless. Education is the key to success. No trace of arbor, but he left this ball of string lying here. Perhaps he was going to tie up bushes with it or something. Shorty won't mind, I think. I've never been very interested in plants, but there are things in this garden I've never seen anywhere else. Those 2 plants there, for example, it looks as though they're strangling one another. Critter attacked this beehive one night. He claims to this day that it was the sweetest triumph of his life. But it was 3 days before the swelling from the bee stings went down. What I'd really like to do is go up there, give the old boot a slap round the face, and get Ivo out of this place. But Ivo's mother is a powerful priestess. She's probably got a dozen ways she could incapacitate me without me even noticing. I have to be careful. Why did she suddenly put Ivo to sleep? Did Ivo keep the fact that she's pregnant secret even from her parents? Could that even be the reason that she left Elfborough? It looks like she's asleep. But her father said it's more than just sleep. Time's standing still for her. Ivo's mirror. When I was here, her fat bird sat in front of it most of the time. Maybe I can lure the queen onto the balcony, grab Ivo, and... No. Where would we go?
Off we go. Godzilla! Boom! Ooh. Wait!
Hey, Critter!
Huh?
Forget it. I've got everything under control.
Take a look.
Away we go. That's the desert where Lorem Ipsum must be. Wait a minute. I must have a more detailed map of the area somewhere here. The Umzu Desert isn't all sand. There are stony mountains, gorges, and salt lakes. The one thing they have in common is that it's darn hot. That's the old oasis of Bremen. Ivo's father set off westwards from this town and reached Lorem Ipsum at some point. The problem is, I don't know how far west of Bremen the ruins are. The area is large, and if I'm unlucky, the ruins are completely covered in sand. I have to reduce the search area somehow. That's the old oasis of Bremen. The area is... The Umzu Desert isn't all sand. There are stony mountains, gorges, and salt lakes. The one thing they have in common is that it's darn hot. Away we go. Away we go. I met Critter in the Northlands. Nice people up there. Penguins, mainly. I met Critter in the Northlands. Nice people up there. Penguins, mainly. Wilbur comes from around there. Mainly just dwarves and gnomes live there. The White Ridge Mountains are too cold for humans. After everything Ivo told me, Seastone is a no-go at the moment. Better that we're not seen there without the Archmage. His human version, I mean. Cast off!
Stop this thing.
Nope, me neither. I think we all know who's responsible for that.
Put it up.
Hey, Mary.
Captain Nate?
It looks as if we'll be off on our next adventure soon, Mary. Lorem Ipsum, the Lost Desert City.
I'll travel to the end of the world with you, but I'm driving.
Ivo's mother. She's simply switched her off. How dare she?
Switched her off?
Magic elven stuff. If I could, I'd go up there And...
You are not a fighter, Captain Nate. You are... No, wait a moment, you're not really a thinker either. What exactly are you?
a doer, Mary. A doer. All right. Let me know if there's a problem.
And then?
Navigation isn't a complicated science. I choose a place on the map I'd like to fly to, then I tell the Mary the name of the place and she flies me there. I don't know why other people find it so difficult. All right, then. Only the best captains are already in the right place before they set off. You stay here. Prepare the cannons and be ready to rescue me if necessary.
Facciamolo, Luca.
Give me the damned elf immediately!
There's no damned elf here. Get lost.
When Ivo told me about Seastone, I could hardly believe it. Even if the power of the brat's sorcerer grandpa is concentrated in the wand, where did he get all the power from? It's a powerful kid's magic that can force grown men to sit at tiny tables and pretend they like tea. Fortunately, I'm immune. An unhealthy, artificial-looking, oversweet, fatty parody of a foodstuff. Wonderful.
Hey, what are you doing there?
I'm, admiring the fine delicacies.
Those aren't for you. They're for my guests. If you want to take part, I'm gonna have to make you pretty first.
No, no, that's all right. I'll keep my hands off your guests' food. It looks like the old hag doesn't dare venture into the palace. Not a bad idea, considering the toys the Red Pirates got in there. Lady Van Buren, I assume?
Yes? Who are you? What do you want?
My name is Wayne Schlegel, from the Seastone Life and Accident Insurance Company.
What do you want here?
There was an accident here. A pirate lost an eye. Now he has to wear a wooden leg. There was clearly a problem in processing the claim.
There's no one here anymore. Apart from that damned red pirate and the elf he's hiding.
Elf? What elf?
A thieving elf! She robbed me while I had to deal with the rest of her kind.
You've been to Elfborough? I heard it's supposed to be very pretty at this time of year.
We couldn't get in. Protective charms that not even my little darling could do anything about.
What a shame.
And then I go back home and find I've been robbed by that damned elf and her mob. They will suffer the consequences.
You seem to have considerable magical power at your command, madam. Why don't you just magic the elf out of there?
If it were really so simple, do you really think I'd be wasting my precious time here? That red scoundrel threatened us! Us! He has a magic weapon in there! Ancient, divine magic, which even my Chantal can't do anything against.
Perhaps I could go in there and talk to the Red Pirate. I'm an insurance salesman. No one would dare do anything to an insurance salesman.
That's true. And every hour that I waste here prevents me from taking care of the transformation of the country. Go in. Convince that old scoundrel.
And you're sure the elf's here?
Of course! She flew here from Seastone on a magic hippogriff. We followed her trail to here, and there are no indications that the hippogriff has flown on.
Then I may take my leave, Lady Van Buren?
Yes, yes.
Stop! Stop right there!
Whoa, whoa, easy does it. Put that thing away.
Nate? Have you seen what they've done to my island?
Let me guess. You've redecorated, so the pirates that fled come back.
Oh, it was that little brat and her mother. Turned up here saying I should hand over the elf.
And you explained politely that the elf is no longer here and that unfortunately you can, as such, be of no help.
I kicked them out. Then they started transforming my island. They would have got me too if I didn't have the head.
I see you were at least able to rescue the statues.
Statues? They're my friends. Tell him.
Friends!
I brought them in here long before them witches came. A man shouldn't be alone. Isn't that right, Martha?
Right.
Yeah. I've even heard of people who went mad because they had no one to talk to.
Can't happen to me. I've got friends, and things are on the up.
Friends?
Van Buren's convinced that Ivo's still here. I'm supposed to persuade you to hand her over.
I'd do that at a drop of a hat. That elf is in league with dark forces. She was trying to drive me crazy. Do you hear what she said about the invisible force that determines what we do?
Van Buren isn't going to believe that Ivo's not here.
You've got to get that old bag off my island, Nate. You have to.
I'm here because I need the spirit compass.
What? Not because you missed my company?
And because I've missed your company, but mainly the compass. A friend of mine won't find their way out of the realm of the dead without it.
I don't care about that. It's my compass. Right, Pierre?
Right.
You see?
How about I get Van Buren off the island, and in return you lend me the compass? You'll get it back in one piece.
You get rid of them both, mother and daughter.
That's the deal.
William, what do you say?
It's stew today.
Ah, good old Bill. All you ever think of is food. All right, Nate. If you get those two monstrosities off my island, I'll lend you the compass for a day.
Deal.
Deal.
I've got to go.
See you later.
See you later.
The ape has got nothing to match the Van Buren's magic, but he could easily take me out if I try to steal the compass. Perhaps Old Red's friends can persuade him to give me the compass. I'd better not. Old Red would notice if I moved the statue. There's a saying about people who bring knives to gunfights, and I don't even have a knife. Those aren't really friends of the Red Pirate. If they were, they'd have drawn his attention to the fact that he's completely lost his mind. The poor bird looks quite stressed out. I would be too if I was the one-man entertainer for a lunatic with a Medusa head. The Spirit Compass. It can show the Archmage the way out of the spirit world. Few books are consulted for words of wisdom as often as this one, but I think they rarely help. I wonder. You should give Nate the compass. Ah!
Huh? Nate, was that you?
No.
Liar! Liar! No, liar! Ah!
I can see it's you, Nate. Imitating other people. You inflated barn cake.
Scandal! Scandal! Ah!
I'd better not. Old Red would notice if I moved the statue. Hello there.
What do you want? Go away!
I'm Nate. You're the council leader Van Buren's daughter, right?
Uh-huh. And you are not invited to my party.
Quite, pretty what you've done with the city.
I got it all out of my book. And Mommy says I've got a real artificial talent.
Artistic. Although, artificial works too. Wouldn't it be fun to move on and transform something else? Or to travel back to Seastone and have an afternoon nap?
Mommy's looking for the elf who stole things from us.
Yes, but aren't you the one in charge here? Just tell her you want to go somewhere else.
But I've got everything ready for my tea party, and the guests will arrive any minute.
But... I've got to go.
Yes? Otherwise you'll scare my guests away.
Not much escaped the brat's magic. This hammer is one of the lucky few. Violence is never the solution. In my experience, the absurd combination of bizarre objects is the solution. Always. Violence is never the solution. In my experience, the absurd combination of bizarre objects is the solution. Always. Lady Van Buren?
Yes.
I've spoken to the Red Pirate. He says the elf fled before you even arrived.
Of course he says that. But he's hiding her.
I haven't seen her anywhere.
Then you haven't looked properly enough. I want that elf. Bring her to me.
Then I may take my leave, Lady Van Buren?
Yes, yes.
That's wrong. Impressive, but wrong. That's some transformation. There must be powerful magic at work. That's the third biggest flower I've ever seen. The flower is too pretty and smells too good to just be left alone.
Just one more piece! Just one more little piece and you've done it!
Hey, Eyes.
Nate, nice to see you again.
Come on. Knowing you, you never lost sight of me.
Your life wasn't so boring over the past few years, I must admit. Good season.
I half expected to find you transformed into a huge ball of fluff with big goggle eyes.
The council leader and the charming Chantal are concentrating their attention on the palace. Fortunately.
I guess you also want her off the island as quickly as possible.
Absolutely. I like tragedies, but I've never wanted to be in one.
You know why I'm here?
Of course, Princess Ivo. Oh, look at her. Isn't it sad? An elf in the prime of her life, sleeping away her best years.
I'm going to prevent that from happening.
And I hope you're successful. This is more boring than watching the cricket.
Ivo's father said I can't rescue Ivo against her mother's will.
That would be a bad idea. Although I'd like to see what would happen if you tried.
So how can I convince Ivo's mother that she's not acting in her daughter's best interests?
Isn't she? The future's in constant flux. Even I can't see it clearly in my mirrors. A powerful priestess like her might be able to see more, but clearly she doesn't want to.
She thinks Ivo's thrown her life away, and she thinks it's impossible that she could be happy with a child, or with me.
A difficult task that you do. Come on, number 3! Run! Come on! Yes! Sundancer won!
Ivo's pregnancy. Do you know who... you know?
Ivo said you weren't the father, but if not you, who?
I'm not the Oracle with 100 eyes. How should I know who it is?
Eyes that are blind if there's no reflective surface nearby. Ivo seemed very surprised by the news herself. She spoke of a curse that might have struck her.
A curse. Yeah, sure. Can have that mirror?
Of course not!
I could always keep an eye on Ivo with it, and maybe it'll come in useful some other way.
It's already useful. It means I can see what happens next in the story. Anyway, I've never given any of my mirrors away. They are rare collector's items.
You collect mirrors? Rewind, delete, stupid question. Can I have that mirror?
Of course not!
I could always keep an eye on Ivo with it, and maybe it'll come in useful some other way.
It's already useful. It means I can see what happens next in the story. Anyway, I've never given any of my mirrors away. They are rare collector's items.
You collect mirrors? Rewind, delete, stupid question. About the mirror.
Just a second. Something exciting's happening. I can't miss this.
Oh, good gods. I gotta go.
Yes, go. Henceforth.
Some mirrors show different scenes the whole time, others always show the same.
The connection between two mirrors is sometimes stronger and sometimes weaker. This one here has a particularly strong connection to the mirror in Ivo's room. Just look how clear the picture is.
About the mirror.
Just a second. Something exciting's happening. I can't miss this.
Oh, good gods. Thousands of lives are taking place behind these mirrors. Tragedies, comedies, and quite a lot of everyday life. About the mirror.
Just a second. Something exciting's happening. I can't miss this.
Oh, good gods. colorful cloths. They don't seem to fulfill any purpose, apart from being colorful.
Heat! Κρεύκοντας κουλαλαμπό. Mounts, Fats, Kulilul.
Ah!
Mary. Mary. Noxic. Mary. Noxic. Box. Κρεύκοντας κουλαλαμπό. Ui. Gunzela, ooh.
A pile of maps, diaries, travelogues, and stuff. I was looking for things that promise eternal life. The Holy Grail, the Philosopher's Stone, the Fountain of Youth, that kind of thing. Harder to find than you'd think. That's why I had the idea with the djinn. At least I knew where to look for him. Wasn't there a book on lorem ipsum here? That's it. This is the famous travelogue that reports on the city Lorem Ipsum in a forgotten language. Scholars claim it speaks of life in the city and of huge wealth, the main reason that this text is so well known all around the world. The author of this diary never found the city, so I don't know if this picture of the city is born of his fantasy or if it's based on descriptions. What's this? The author seems to assign great meaning to these hieroglyphs. If only I could read them. Why didn't the people back then just write under the pictures what they were supposed to mean? Lorem ipsum dolor sit emet, consectatur adipicici illit, sed eismod tempor insidud ut labor et dolore magna aliqua, ut enim ad minim veniam quis nostrud exercitation ulamco laboris nisi ut aliquid ex ei commodi consequat, and so on. For me, this is just a string of meaningless words. Even if the city did once look like this, it perished thousands of years ago. There's surely nothing left but a few ruins. What are the chances that the Book of the Dead has survived? I like looking for lost things and solving long-hidden secrets. It's not really honest piracy, but Critter and I just want to be treasure hunters. All right, then. The Umzu Desert isn't all sand. There are stony mountains, gorges, and salt lakes. The one thing they have in common is that it's darn hot. You still hungry?
Nah.
We should do something about that. Hello there.
What do you want? Go away!
A tea party, huh?
Exactly like in my book. I'm celebrating my birthday. I got a table, tea, and lovely things to eat, and any minute now the guests will arrive. The Mad Hatter and the White Rabbit. And then I'll get presents.
I'd love to be a guest at your tea party.
Ew, you can't come. You aren't a Mad Hatter, and you're not a White Rabbit either. And you're a boy, and ugly.
Now listen here.
I can make you pretty.
Thank you, but that's not necessary. And this Hatter and Rabbit, will you make them appear by magic?
No, I can only change things. They will come here. I've done everything exactly the same as in my book, so they've gotta come. I always get very angry if I don't get exactly what I want.
Okay.
And they all have to bring me presents, and when the Hatter and the White Rabbit are there, then Mommy has to come over as well. Right, Mommy?
What, sweetie?
When the other guests have arrived, then you'll come over too and give me an unbirthday present, right?
Of course, my sweet. As soon as a Mad Hatter and a White Rabbit appear, then I'll give you the most super-duper present ever.
Ha! Did you hear that? The biggest, bestest present ever!
Who is this Mad Hatter you're expecting?
He's a Hatter, and he's mad.
Uh-huh. And what is it that makes him a Hatter? And what makes him so mad?
He wears a top hat and a colorful neckerchief, and I'm not sure why he's mad, but he is.
I see. A white rabbit at a tea party? Curious.
You think?
Yeah, and perhaps you should give him a watch if he doesn't turn up soon.
No, my guests have to give me a present.
Still no guests yet?
No, maybe they're buying me even better presents. As soon as they get here, Mommy's gonna give me the biggest and bestest present ever.
I've got to go.
Yes? Otherwise you'll scare my guests away.
Lady Van Buren,
Yes.
what you've done with this island is very impressive, Lady Van Buren. Just like in Seastone, you and your daughter are a real asset to this land.
Thank you very much. Politicians so seldom receive the thanks that's due to them. One works tirelessly for years on end for oneself and one's friends. And do the electorate thank you for it? No.
Sad. Very sad. Then I may take my leave, Lady Van Buren?
Yes, yes.
Not my style. Too crazy. Away we go. Cast off. A green top hat. It should be useful. Green top hats always are. Ollie used to be a bookmaker. Got involved with the wrong people. Ivo says I just make all this up. I like Critter, but I don't want to pick out curtains or anything. Away we go. Cast off. Hello. I'm the Hatter. The Mad Hatter.
Just like in my book! Are you really mad?
Sure, completely insane. I think you're a revolting child, and you have terrible taste.
You must be really mad if you're making fun of me. Have you got a present for me, too?
I hereby present you with the insight that life isn't about receiving presents.
Say what? That isn't a present, stupid. I want a real present.
Yes, but you see...
Whatever! My mommy's gonna give me a real big present.
Yes, but...
I want a present!
A present! Of course! Hi.
Oh, Hatter! Have you got a present for me?
what kind of presents would you like?
Good ones. Anyone wishing to come to my birthday party must give me a good present.
And what is a good present?
I like sweet and fluffy animals. I like things for girls. And I like fairy tales.
As unhealthy and delicious as it might look, I'm not going to risk being transformed for it. I should be able to find something useful for dressing up here. White powder, for example. Anything else? A perfume atomizer. Empty, unfortunately. Nah, nothing of use. That would be quite funny, but this is not the right time. Hi.
Oh, Hatter! Have you got a present for me?
I'm just getting your present. Hey, Critter.
Huh?
Forget it. I've got everything under control.
Takalak. Ne, hejt! Krefkotos, kulalabo.
Wasn't there a... Ah, there. The rabbit costume. We haven't got a present for that brat yet, and I don't want to see Critter in drag for any longer than necessary. Most of the communication between a captain and his ship's nonverbal. We'll leave it at that for now.
Mums, Fatz, Gulilul,
Ah!
Mary, Noxic,
I remember that from my childhood. You connect the cans with a string and can talk to someone across several meters, just like you could without the cans. You can hear in one can what someone else says into the other can. It's a distance communicator. Hi.
Oh, Hatter! Have you got a present for me?
I've got a great gadget for you. A magical communicator.
A what?
If you pull the string tight and someone speaks into the tin at one end, you can hear what he says at the other end.
That's completely lame! If you want something, then you could just scream loudly for it.
But it's not lame.
It is! And totally impractical, with all those cables and all. Huh. Now it'll work without the stupid cable.
Even better.
Say what? That isn't a present! I want a real present! Something that I can hold!
I'm just getting your present. If these things could transmit voices over large distances without the string, the possible uses would be tremendous. You could contact people you didn't know and pretend to be someone else. Or you could call them up during mealtime in order to sell them something. Away we go. Cast off. Go over into the garden. There are plants and fruit there if you're hungry.
Ah!
Don't fancy greens, huh? I wonder whether... Here. That's what I was looking for. The book describes what the symbols mean. The first one is... a kind of angular stone? Gemstones, jewels. That's a promising start. The second symbol, desert. Yeah, makes sense. The city is somewhere in the Umzu Desert. Next. Feet? What have feet got to do with it? Can you only reach the city by foot? The next symbol, 3. 3 feet. That's unusual. Perhaps the last symbol will make it clear. Mountains. Jewels, desert, mountains. The jewel of the desert at the foot of the 3 mountains. That's it. Lorem ipsum. The city with roofs of gold is the jewel of the desert, and it lies at the foot of 3 mountains. And these 3 mountains must be west of Bremen. That should be easy to find. This mirror and the one from the observatory have a special connection. cast off. Hi.
Oh, Hatter! Have you got a present for me?
I'm just getting your present.
Nate! What's going on? Why did you take Ivo's mirror?
Let's give them a bit of privacy. What do you think?
Private what?
Black. I guess the connection was cut when I took the mirror.
No, the mirror is still transmitting. It's broadcasting the inside of your bag. Nice lint.
About the mirror.
Just a second. Something exciting's happening. I can't miss this.
Oh, good gods. All right.
Hey, what do you think you're doing?
I'm transmitting the images of the happy playing children to the mirror in my bag.
But you're blocking my view.
It's important, and it won't take long, and you owe me one.
I owe you nothing. And you haven't got rid of the Van Burens yet.
Some happy children playing in a garden. Ivo's mother refuses to believe that Ivo's children could have a happy future too. Who cares if the future queen has an illegitimate child? Well, apart from me. Hello?
Aye. Have they gone?
Our deal stands?
Aye. You chase those two horrors off my island, and I'll lend you the spirit compass.
That's what I wanted to hear. I've got to go.
See you later.
See you later.
There's a saying about people who bring knives to gunfights, and I don't even have a knife. The Medusa head is the only thing keeping Van Buren out. No one in their right mind picks a fight with old magic like that. Neither does Van Buren. Better not. I'm afraid he'd like it, and then he wouldn't let me go again. Violence is never the solution. In my experience, the absurd combination of bizarre objects is the solution. Always. All right, then. Three mountains west of Bremen. I bet Critter's next meal that the jewel of the desert is at the foot of these mountains. I'll mark the place on the big map. There hasn't been an airship visiting Lorem Ipsum for centuries, perhaps millennia, if ever. Time to pay a call to the old city. That must be it. Lorem Ipsum. And it looks like someone has already dug it up for us.
Put it up.
Mummy with a small spade. I wonder.
Mortimer.
No, I'm Nate. That's Critter.
Elevators.
But I seek Mortimer.
Here? Under the sand?
Why aren't you Mortimer?
I, don't know. Who are you?
I am... Isn't the question more, who are you?
I'm Nate, like I already said.
So you are neither Mortimer, nor that elf who was pretending to be Mortimer.
That... Yes, I can confirm that.
So many people. I can't possibly remember all these names. I will call you... Nate.
I can live with that. Who is this Mortimer you're looking for?
Mortimer fetched me out of the darkness many years ago. I lived with him until he disappeared.
And now you're looking for him here?
Looking for whom?
That Mortimer.
You've seen him. I've been looking for him everywhere.
Don't tell me you dug this huge hole.
All right.
I mean, why did you dig it?
I'm not meant to say.
You can tell me. What's the hole all about?
Yes, about that. Why did you dig it?
I didn't. You did.
Of course. I wanted to go home.
So you're from Lorem Ipsum.
Yes. It must be here somewhere.
Have you had a look around?
Ah! Lorem Ipsum! What a coincidence! I was born here, you know.
What can you tell me about Lorem Ipsum? What was life here like?
Oh, wonderful. We've always had good weather. We built the most beautiful temples with the most fiendish traps, sold them all around the world, and made a lot of money from that.
You sold temples with built-in traps?
Of course. Walls that suddenly come together and squash any intruder, invented here in Lorem Ipsum. We had breeding programs for scorpions and tarantulas, and we issued a 3,000-year guarantee for our traps.
That means your traps could still work today?
Traps? What traps?
I'm looking for a book.
I've seen one lying on Mortimer's desk.
I'm looking for a particular book, the Book of the Dead.
Oh, but that's just a legend. That book apparently explains how one can bestow everlasting life on people by wrapping them up in gauze bandages. Poof.
Assuming it wasn't a legend, where would the Book of the Dead be hidden?
Ah, the Book of the Dead. Some say it is mere legend, but I have seen it many times. It was put into the tomb of the last pharaoh of Lorem Ipsum, the mad Tut-Tut.
And this Tut-Tut, where is he buried?
He is lying under a mighty pyramid, just like that one over there. Actually, now that I think about it, it's exactly like the one over there. What do you think? Why would someone put a pyramid here that looks exactly the same as Tut-Tut's?
How do you get into Tut-Tut's pyramid?
Who is Tut-Tut? And what's this pyramid you're talking about?
Ah, forget it.
What should I forget?
Don't mummies have their brains removed during embalmment?
That's funny. I could swear that I've heard that question somewhere before.
I bet. I've got to go. And you? You might want to get out of this sun for a couple of hours.
I've not got time for breaks. I'm looking for a pyramid. It must be here somewhere.
An obelisk. It must have been lying in the sand for millennia, like everything else. An obelisk. It must have... A semicircular depression. There are lines and numbers carved into the stone on the inside. Perhaps Some kind of calculation? Or something religious? I can't imagine the whole pyramid was covered in sand. In that case, all this must have been more than 100 meters under the floor of the desert. A massive thing. I wonder if the mummy pulled it out here on his own. The little guy doesn't look that strong. The sarcophagus is gold-plated. In normal circumstances, I would pocket some of the gold. But it's a bit different if the inhabitant of the sarcophagus is full of beans and still needs it. I found a very similar stone head in the Northlands and took it with me. But there's no way it could be from the same stonemasons. We're thousands of miles from the Northlands. The sand has protected the statues over the millennia. If they'd been exposed to the wind, there'd be nothing left of them but sand. The whole slab is covered with characters. Hieroglyphs, something that looks like Old Dwarvish, and normal letters. At viro eos et accusum et justo duo doloris et ea rebum. That's the same forgotten language as in the Lorem Ipsum text. A stone slab with characters in 3 different languages, and I can't read any of them. According to legend, Lorem Ipsum had golden roofs. I can only see a pile of old stones. A massive stone plinth with a piece of rotten wood in the middle. I know that old stone columns often have a wooden core to keep the individual pieces of the column in place. The obelisk clearly had something similar that gave up the ghost at some point. That thin thing? No, no botch jobs. Away we go. Cast off. I've found this stone in the desert with hieroglyphics, old dwarvish runes, and a text in that lorem ipsum language on it.
I don't understand any of these young languages. I just understand the language of nature. And English for some strange reason.
The tree is legendary. I knew of it long before I met Ivo. The Tree of Life, as it's called, is attributed all kinds of powers. I was a little bit disappointed when I saw it for the first time. To me, it looks like a completely normal, tall tree. Cast off. Hi.
Who are you? And what are you doing here?
I found this stone slab. What does it say?
It says, "Thank you for your decision to buy this pyramid model World Wonder." In 3 languages.
It's an operating manual?
Our lost temples could get rather complicated.
Does it say how to open the pyramid?
Terms of use, guarantee, washing instructions. Ah, there. Erect pyramid facing exactly north. Position obelisk A in depression G on stone socket B with the help of wooden peg F. We recommend the use of slaves for erection, not included in this delivery. Every day at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the shadow of the obelisk will point to the stone which opens the secret entrance.
Why doesn't it just say which stone you have to press? Who would write something like this? I've got to go.
Bye!
I guess that's the obelisk mentioned in the operating manual. At least, I can't see another one. How am I supposed to get the obelisk onto the pedestal? It must weigh at least a ton. Hey, Critter.
Huh?
You take over for a bit. I've got some thinking to do.
Facciole, Luca. Harsot, quella. Podalo put. Tick-tock. Podalo put. Shucks. Pull up those bronchom. Uy, el ofrecota d'agua.
No idea what that is. Without a replacement for the wooden pin, the obelisk won't stay on the plinth. That thin thing? No, no botch jobs. Aye.
I think that we've met once before, haven't we?
The operating manual mentions something about a wooden pin, and there's some rotten wood still sticking in the hole in the stone plinth.
Yes, we always had issues with the wooden pegs. Wood is easy to craft, but not as long-lasting as stone. I discovered something completely new in Mortimer's hut. Metal.
Metal?
Yes, but not bronze. Much harder, much more durable. I called it ugly super bronze. I brought a sample of it with me.
About the ugly super bronze.
The what?
The metal you found in Mortimer's house.
Who told you about that?
Ah.
One could build completely new types of weapons with this metal. Wood and bronze weapons would be useless. No one must find out. until Lorem Ipsum has mastered the secrets of this material.
You're right. Let's examine the metal for the good of Lorem Ipsum.
Absolutely. If we should ever get lazy and start to rest on our laurels, it could result in the town's downfall.
We, wouldn't want that to happen.
No. Wait here. What was I going to fetch again? Ha ha! I was just pulling your leg. I never forget anything.
Thank you.
What for?
I've got to go.
Bye!
Fits like a glove. If the pipe fits the hole in the plinth exactly, then it'll also fit to the hole in the obelisk. If the pipe fits the hole in the plinth exactly, then it'll also fit to the hole in the obelisk. I guess that's the obelisk mentioned in the operating manual. At least, I can't see another one. How am I supposed to get the obelisk onto the pedestal? It must weigh at least a ton. The Mary tried to teach me some knots. I think she likes passing on her knowledge to me. She said she'll try and teach pigs to fly next. Watch out down there. Maybe next time I should shout first and then throw it down. I guess that's the obelisk mentioned in the operating manual. At least, I can't see another one. The Mary should have enough power to heave the obelisk onto the plinth. And the pipe serves as the new connection piece K, or whatever it was. Off we go! Pull, my dear old fatty!
I'll pretend I didn't hear that.
Come on, you can do it! All right. Now slowly. Ah! Well done, Mary.
Did you ever doubt me, little one?
The shadow of the obelisk at exactly 3 p.m. is supposed to cast across the stone you can use to open a secret door into the pyramid. Now it's about noon? A semicircular depression. There are lines and numbers carved into the stone on the inside. Perhaps some kind of calculation? Or something religious? No idea what that is.
Tick-tock. Put-a-lut-put. Tick-tock. Put-a-lut-put. Tick-tock. Put-a-lut-put.
A semicircular depression. There are lines and numbers carved into the stone on the inside. Perhaps some kind of calculation? Or something religious? I know lots of people find pyramids impressive, but what's the big deal? You pile up blocks into a heap. I could already do that when I was a kid. Maybe not as big, but the principle's the same. Lorem Ipsum, the jewel of the desert at the foot of the 3 mountains. This little book helped me work out where it is. Aye.
I think that we've met once before, haven't we?
This depression here, what is it?
That is a sun clock.
Why does the sun need to know what time it is?
No, the sun tells us how late it is.
So how does the sun know what time it is?
Haven't a clue. The shadow of the little stick in the middle tells us for definite when it is time to, do things.
There is no stick in the middle of the clock.
It must have been broken then. I think more has been broken too. Didn't it look completely different here before?
I've got to go.
Bye!
The reed casts a thin shadow on the numbers and lines inside the clock. Okay, it's 2:15. 3 o'clock. The obelisk is casting its shadow exactly on that stone. That must be it. That's it. Let's go.
If I were you, I wouldn't go in there. Traps. lots of traps. Mortimer just about managed it, and Mortimer is... Mortimer.
He was in the pyramids?
Of course. He is an archaeologist. They always go wherever there are the most traps.
Do you know how the traps in there work?
Naturally. I even invented some myself. I am an enigma, I think.
How about you accompany us?
In there? Whew, it's dangerous.
Come on, I thought Danger was your middle name.
Really? That would be a strange middle name. Walter or Winifred, those are good names. Mortimer's second name is Alfred.
Come on now, get in that pyramid.
In there? It's dangerous in there.
It's important. We need the Book of the Dead to bring a friend back into this world, and he might know something about a great evil that's stirring.
It's like my dear old father used to say. Coyote, snake, bird looking to the left, sun, wavy lines, exclamation mark.
What?
Yes, he was very erudite. And you wouldn't have caught him simply wandering into a pyramid filled with traps.
We really shouldn't go into the pyramid unprepared.
Oh, come on. Danger is my middle name. And it's important. Great evil is stirring.
What?
You can't let me go in there on my own. You have to come in with me.
Okay, if that's how it's gotta be.
I win every argument. It's always been so. Put me on your shoulders.
Do I have to?
Hup, hup. We have 40 days in the desert ahead of us.
We're going into the pyramid.
Which pyramid?
Hey, stop puffing and panting in my ear.
I'm not panting. I'm exhaling dramatically. Onwards, my proud camel!
Nice little place. Locked. And like everything here, the door is made of stone. You can't just kick it open. A conspicuous black hole in the wall.
You have to put your arm in there.
Sure?
Yes. Sometimes there is a switch at the end of the hole. But sometimes your arm will be sliced off instead. I'm pretty sure that this one here has a switch.
So, tell me again. You said that if I stick my arm in there, it won't be chopped off?
How should I know?
There really is something like a lever here.
Pull it.
Ah!
Don't let go. The door is opening.
Great.
Put.
Yes. Broken.
Walter. Bubble. Malaka boom boom. Texture push. Texture push. Atawi. Kutsura Luka. books. Ooh, Kitster puss. Ooh. Oldtig. Oldtig. Katsa. Hats. Harsut quello.
This column looks strange.
No, that's a perfectly normal column.
Sure?
Be careful, Nate. Why didn't you consult me before you put us in danger?
This part of the column shoots out if you trigger a mechanism in the floor.
Are you sure?
Yes, I am. I would jump over, but I don't know if there's another trap on the other side of the slab. Even if I get over this pitfall, the stone ball is blocking my way.
The ball should only block the entrance to the tomb in an emergency.
I guess Mortimer triggered the trap when he was here. You can't see your hands in front of your face.
So what? Get in there. Chop chop.
There's no way I'm going into a pitch-black room.
I have never had such a stubborn camel, and you're very uncomfortable as well.
I can hear a kind of patter of thousands of little feet.
Oh, I'm sure that's nothing. Just get in there. Giddy up.
Vases, cat statues, a wooden chair. Why is there only junk here and no treasure?
What use are treasures to you on the other side? At least you can sit on a chair.
It would seem that the pyramid served not only as the last resting place of the pharaoh, but also as a junk room.
No, those are valuable grave goods. The pharaoh should not have to want for anything in the next world.
Seeds?
Just in case there's a famine in the next world.
A press for olive oil or something like that. I'd rather relax than work in the afterlife.
The pharaoh naturally would never operate the equipment himself. Hundreds of his most loyal slaves were buried with him.
I don't see any bones. I guess the slaves had a bit of a rethink about their loyalty after the pharaoh died. A chariot? A boat? Weapons? Food? Almost makes you wish you were dead.
Oh no. The pharaoh longed to live forever. That is why he commissioned the Book of the Dead to be written. This records everything that the wise were able to discover about death.
Do you believe the book can grant you eternal life?
I'd say it didn't work for old Tut-Tut, though. Ha!
No, these seeds have been lying here for thousands of years. Any moisture in them will have evaporated. That should work. All right, I've pressed the oil out of the flour. It's sticky and smells strong. It's all in. I don't know if it's the best perfume ever, but as I made it, chances are it is.
Angela, oh, Noxic.
Thank you. One trap less. Right. Again.
Fazzole, Luca.
Ah. What the devil?
Oh, scarabs. We often use them in traps. They eat the flesh of the bones of any intruders. Fantastic animals.
Yeah, fantastic. I won't set a foot in the room with those dung beetles scurrying around.
That strikes me as a very good idea. At least, as long as I remain on your shoulders.
Thanks to Critter, I can see enough. And what I can see, I don't like. The ball must weigh tons. Isn't there another way into the burial chamber?
Burial chamber?
I've somehow got to move it. As a real Tomb Raider, I have to at least take something. What about this? An ancient mirror, I'd say.
You can't take that. That is the first mirror that was ever made.
And?
Pharaoh Tut-Tut was very particular about his appearance. He needs the mirror.
Not anymore. I'm quite sure of that. The mirror's ancient, but still works pretty well. I can see a very attractive young man with a fashionable beard in it. I can't leave Critter locked up here. What if something happens to me out there? Right. Again.
Neat.
Cast off. Hello there.
What do you want? Go away!
I've got to go.
Yes? Otherwise you'll scare my guests away!
Hi.
Oh, Hatter! Have you got a present for me?
I've got a wonderful perfume for you.
Perfume? Achoo!
Splendid, isn't it? All the ladies in Lorem Ipsum are wearing it this season.
But it's making my eyes water.
That's how it has to be. Don't you know the saying, one must suffer to be beautiful? You shouldn't really be wearing this kind of thing yet. It's only for the big girls.
Only for grown-ups?
Yes, little girls shouldn't wear perfume. Only women of the world.
I am a woman of the world.
I thought so. But don't tell your mother anything about it.
Thank you. What a lovely present. Please take a seat, Mr. Hatter.
At once, milady. I, just want to watch out for my friend, the White Rabbit.
It's about time he arrived.
We haven't got a present for that brat yet, and I don't want to see Critter in drag for any longer than necessary.